Hello everybody, Love This Fun here with a video. So check out Mr. Nightmare. He tells really creepy stories. We're going to react to 5 creepy, supposedly real haunted house stories by him.
Oh guys, and if y'all wonder who I am, I'm Bunny Rella. As y'all know, we always do play Minecraft. But for some reason I can't play Minecraft because it says I had a billing problem because somebody had deleted it and it was also lagging and stuff. So yeah. And if y'all want to check me out, go to the search button or go to Lobit's. Go to Lobit's channel and then go to his subscriptions, and then you're gonna see Bunny Rella. Then it's gonna have a picture of me behind my big old house, and that house was my roleplay house. So just get on with this. Oh, his social media is. He doesn't have social media except for YouTube. I think he has Kick and Snapchat.
Oh yeah, I have Kick, and my Kick is Lobit is fun, or just look up Dempsey Tank, or it's Tank Dempsey.
Is that mine?
I don't know. I'm just playing with it. Like, is that mine?
Okay, go.
Oh wait, and y'all, by the way, I think I'm going crazy. When I was small, I would see ghosts. So if I start like getting all scared and that stuff, it's because I've been seeing.
He had an
ghosts.
experiment.
No, I had
Experience.
Yeah, experience.
Okay, let's go.
Number 5, the Dudley House.
Wait, how about we just
Gideon Dudley settled in this house in 1740.
let's just come over here and watch it at the table.
Comfortable where I am.
47, on land that was once a Mohawk Indian tribal ground. The surrounding forest was named Dark Entry. Many people are said to have vanished into the forest, while many others who have lived in there have gone insane. People who visit the forest today claim to hear screams coming from deeper in the forest. Visitors to the area have even had the sensation of being pushed by unseen hands, scratched, and witnessed orbs. An anonymous person who got close to the house claimed to have heard manic banging on one of the windows from the inside.
I'm crying.
He couldn't see who or what it was, as the blinds on the other side were down. However, he could see the blinds being pressed into the window with each bang.
It's
Now owned
creepy.
by the Dark Entry Forest
This reminds me
Association,
of all my
it is heavily patrolled by
experiences.
state and local authorities who warn that anyone visiting the site will be arrested.
This is messed up.
Number 4, the Harlow House.
Be quiet.
In 1932, 42-year-old Hollywood producer Paul Byrne married 21-year-old Hollywood starlet Jean Harlow. 2 months later, Byrne died under mysterious circumstances in the couple's home. After crime scene tampering from high-level studio executives, his death was ruled a suicide, though suspicions fell on his ex-wife, who committed suicide a day after his death. Jean would die 5 years later of renal failure, and the house later became the home of Sharon Tate, who claimed to have seen Byrne's ghost on the grounds. Sharon Tate, as you might know, was savagely murdered by members of the Manson family. People who have gone to visit the house or just to see it up close in person have reported seeing shadowy figures standing by the windows, and at other times feeling a ghostly presence surround them. Number 3, the Connecticut Funeral Home. Built in 1916, this suburban residential home was used as a funeral home from the 1930s until it was purchased by the Snedeker family of upstate New York in 1986. Upon moving in, the Snedekers found various mortuary items, such as coffin handles and a blood drainage pit. And a series of supernatural phenomena showed up next. First, it started out with just doors and windows opening and closing. Then it got much more horrifying. They would wake up at night to screams coming from around the house, or cries coming from inside closets. The oldest son, who was at the time in the middle of radiation treatment, began to exhibit radical personality shifts, becoming withdrawn and angry. He began writing poetry with necrophilic themes,
Oh, shoot.
and during one intense episode,
I was looking at the TV, but look.
began to exhibit radical personality shifts, becoming withdrawn and angry. He began writing poetry with necrophilic themes, and during one intense episode, he attacked his cousin with the intent to rape her. His family had him arrested and taken for an evaluation, where he was pronounced schizophrenic. He was removed from the house and seemed to get better, until returning. They moved out sometime that same year. Number 2, the Summerwind House. Located on the shores of West Bay Lake in the far northeast regions of Wisconsin are the ruins of a once grand mansion that was called Summerwind. The house is long gone now, but the memories remain, as do the stories and legends of the inexplicable events that once took place here. The mansion was built in 1916 by Robert P. Lamont as a summer home for he and his family.
Oh guys, if y'all wanna watch these videos and react to them like us, just use hashtag Bunny Squad and hashtag
Foxboy.
hashtag Foxboy and hashtag Bunny Squad, and this link will be not in the description because I don't know how to do that.
Me neither.
So we're just gonna just search up 5 haunted houses and their creepy background stories. So yeah, make sure to use hashtag Bunny Squad and hashtag Foxboy. And yeah, this is actually scary.
I've been
Nestled on the shores
crying.
of the lake,
Well, I'm not really scared, but he is.
the house caught the cool
encountered
breezes of
some.
northern Wisconsin and provided a comfortable place for Lamont to escape the pressures of everyday life in Washington, D.C., as he would later go on to serve as Secretary of Commerce under President Herbert Hoover. But life was not always perfect at the summer home, as legends have it. One night, the basement door began to rattle, and Lamont, thinking it was an intruder, actually fired a pistol through the door twice.
I'm not even listening at all.
One night, the basement door began to rattle, and Lamont, thinking it was an intruder, actually fired a pistol through the door twice. It turned out it was not an intruder, however, but rather a ghost. The bullet holes in the basement door from the kitchen remained for many years. Upon the death of Robert Lamont, the house was sold a couple times. It seemed that nothing strange really happened there besides Lamont's encounter with a ghostly intruder until the early 1970s. It was in this period that the family living in the house was nearly killed, supposedly by ghosts. Arnold Hinshaw, his wife Ginger, and their 6 children moved into Summerwind in the early part of the 1970s. They would only reside in the house for 6 months.
Okay, so answer this question for me. Why people buy these raggedy looking houses and then just want to move out because there's ghosts? Like, the house is all boarded up and stuff. It's all broken, as you can see. Why do you even want to live in it? That's to me just dumb. I would just pick another house.
Well, but it would be an eventful
that
period of
house.
time. From the day that they moved in, they knew strange things were going on in the house. It had been vacant for some time, but it had apparently been occupied by otherworldly visitors. The Hinshaws and their children immediately started to report vague shapes and shadows flickering down the hallways.
Oh,
They
you
also
see that?
claimed to hear
Yeah, I
by
see that.
otherworldly
Watch.
visitors. The Hinshaws and their children immediately started to report vague shapes and shadows flickering down the hallways.
Oh, you seen that? It passed.
They also claimed to hear mumble.
Come on. There's nothing.
Can I watch that?
I'm getting so scared.
Let me get some.
Let me get some. Give me a little piece. Go away if you go away. Give me a little piece. Woman, we're YouTubers, not little twerpers.
Hurry, come on.
Give me a piece.
Give me one sister, yeah. I mean, that's
Can y'all just shut up?
Come on.
Voices in darkened, empty rooms. When they would walk inside, the sounds would quickly stop. Most alarming was the ghost of the woman who was often seen floating back and forth just past some French doors that led off from the dining room. Windows and doors that were closed would reopen on their own. One particular window, which proved especially stubborn, would raise and lower itself at all hours. Out of desperation, Arnold drove a heavy nail through the window casing and it finally stayed closed. Strange phenomena continued to occur all the way until the family moved out. Number 1. On a quiet residential street in a small town sits an old
Why
white frame
someone call
house.
it
On a dark
murder
evening,
house?
the absence of lights and sounds are the first indication to visitors that this house is different from the other homes that...
I think I seen this house. I don't know. I think it was on the news.
I seen it on Ghost Adventures.
No, I know. I think I seen this house because like it was on YouTube. Like this baby was it was like these people like they had to find missing people and stuff. Like it was a baby under the house. I think is this house or a different one?
surrounded. Upon closer inspection, you'll notice its doors and windows are tightly closed and covered. An outhouse in the backyard suggests that this house does not occupy a place in the 21st century, but somehow belongs in another era or story. A weather-beaten sign hanging from the decrepit front porch warns rather than welcomes. This house is known as the Murder House. The walls still protect the identity of the killer or killers who bludgeons to death the entire family
Should we
of
watch
Josiah
it?
Moore
Yeah,
and two
we were
overnight
watching
guests
next
on June
episode.
10th, 1912. Almost 97 years later, the house's secret continues to draw many visitors to the door. To some, it seems to be speaking. Visits by paranormal investigators have provided audio, video, and photographic proof of paranormal
Ghost
activity.
Adventures.
Tours of the house have actually been cut short by children's voices, falling lamps, moving ladders, and flying objects. Physics seem to have confirmed the presence of spirits dwelling in the home, and many have claimed to communicated with them.
Thanks for watching. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Nightmare, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, so we're just gonna make a new episode. So thank you for watching this.